Okay, I shall try to. Right, so be the driver. Obviously the core of Formula 1, core of any racing game. I'll just kind of recap the key things that we're doing in terms of be the driver elements in 2011. It is a racing game. The core of the game is about driving the car. So we haven't just left it from 2010 and expected to roll that into 2011. We've been working on the handling, working on the physics, rewriting the tyre model, rewriting the suspension. It doesn't make it kind of really difficult to drive. It doesn't make it particularly arcade, but we're trying to make it more evolving. So now, when you go into a corner, you can lock your brakes up, you can see the tyres smoking, the things that you see on TV. Through a corner, you can make small corrections. You couldn't really get that from the game in 2010. So we've been working on that for a long time. New driver AI system is about trying to get the AI drivers to lap in the same kind of rhythm as a player. There's no brake lights in Formula 1. It's a very fast game. You're driving through corners at 150 miles an hour. We're trying to get the AI drivers to be in sync with the player. KERS and DRS, a big thing in Formula 1 this season, really mixed up the racing along with Pirelli tyres. These are really kind of cool tools for the player to get used to. KERS being the power boost, DRS being changing the angle of the rear wing. You can use it whenever you want in practice and qualifying. It's very easy to kind of overcook it coming out of the corners and spin. We've been using a lot in multiplayer games. Enhanced damage and failures. Last year, a load of people said to us, please can we have random failures on the car? We've always hated the idea of that. I see no point in doing 100% Grand Prix on lap 69 out of 70, suddenly your engine blowing up. So the damage that we've been working on in the background has been about mechanical failures, things that can go wrong in your car over time based on how you're driving it. Improved feedback to the driver is about reworking the race engineer. He's really your kind of guide to what's going on, the bigger picture of a race. So when you're driving around in 15th position and you're hunting somebody down in 14th, you want to know who's leading, where your rival is, what your teammate's up to, am I matching race pace? He gives you all this information now. So you don't have to be studying the RSD, you can be fed this information over the radio. Heightened circuit fidelity is just our fancy way of saying, yes, a lot of the tracks are back in from 2010, there's a couple of new circuits this season in the real world of Formula 1, but we've been working on the lighting model, been working on the fidelity of the tracks, and we'll show you some examples of that in a minute. We still have Live the Life, which is about being that Formula 1 driver, being in the paddock, doing the interviews that I had in 2010. But what we've tried to add this time is kind of the cinematic element to it. When the races are won in real life, you see people, the top 3 drivers in the park firmly, it's that raw emotion, getting out top of the car, celebrating with other drivers. If you're not driving for one of the top teams and you just manage to overachieve, you see your driver walking back into the garage and celebrating. New press feedback system is about newspaper clippings, so you're saying something to the media in the game. And now you finally see this reported in the media, and you can see what they actually think of you, the stories that are going on in the world of Formula 1. But go compete, this is why we're here. Last year was very much about the single player experience, the career mode. Now it's about multiplayer. And this includes features such as split screen is a big thing for us this year. We had that Dirt 3 recently, we've taken a lot of that code. So now when your friend comes around your house, you don't have to take the drive, the disc out of the drive. You can play against your friend in the same game. You can play a championship season if you want, or just a quick race. You can both drive at Ferrari if you want to. Co-op championship is a huge thing this season. In the co-op, in the career mode last year, it's about looking across the garage and seeing your AI teammate be driving for Ferrari or McLaren or Red Bull. Now you've got your mate alongside you. This is where you kind of work collectively to improve the fortunes of your team. But now it's far more personal. So you really do care whether or not he's out qualifying you, getting more points than you, who's the number 1 driver in the team, who gets the parts first. A lot of that goes on in real world for Formula 1. It's very personal now with Co-op Championship. But to make that a reality, we had to update the number of cars that are online. Last year, if you remember, it was only 12 cars in online races. Now we've got the full grid of 24 cars online in co-op mode. In all multiplayer modes, that's made up of 16 players and 8 AI if you want to fill the grid out. Multiplayer objectives. How often have you got into a multiplayer lobby and realised you haven't got the best car, you haven't got the best stuff, you're the lowest rank, but you're still expected to win? In the single player career last year, you were expected to finish in a certain position based on your performance and the team that you're driving for. That's the same in multiplayer now. So if you're in the HRT, maybe you're expected to finish 20th, so you can try and overachieve amongst the people that you're racing against. Spectator mode is about joining our lobby late. There's a racing motion or you've crashed down, you can still watch the race. You can jump on board of all the different cars, you can change the camera angles, you can view it from a TV angle. There's something to do now rather than just wait on the stats screen. Paul's just going to run you through some example screenshots just to prove that I'm not lying about the updated graphical quality between 10 and 11. It's really quite startling. The guys have been working on improving the quality of the tracks, improving the lighting.
Yeah, I mean, it's very hard to tell from a video that, you know, last year's game looked good, but it's really hard to tell how much forward we've taken it. So here's just a few F1 2010 versus F1 2011 screenshots. So this is Spa in F1 2010. Hopefully it works. That's how it's moved forward in 2011. New lighting system, new foliage, just much higher track fidelity all round. Silverstone's obviously changed massive anyway. That was it in F1 2010. You can see the new pit complex now in F1 2011. Steering wheels, massive on the community side of things. Guys were screaming out for the accurate wheels this year. So up here you can see the last year's generic steering wheel, with just really the badge change in the middle. Whereas in F1 2011 we've got the accurate steering wheels model. Tyres, lots of talk about tyres this year, but not only can you really feel the difference in tyre grip between options and primes, and also the various stages of tyre degradation. So it's really important for us to show you when you're racing around, not only can you feel it, but you can see when you're going to need to make a pit stop. So here's the different compounds. You can see they're fresh on this side of the screen, and as they're moving that way, you can see through the various stages of degradation and wear. Garage, spend a lot of time in the garage in Formula 1, so we invested a lot of time into making it look much better as well. So that's the Renault garage in F1 2010. And you can see how much that's moved forward in F1 2011. These are all in-game screenshots taken from the latest build. And finally the paddock. You'll notice this shot from the paddock for F1 2010. It was the same shot, we framed it from the same angle every time. And it was only really when we were putting the videos together towards the end of last year's project we realised, you know, just how much more we were modelling than not showing off. So we've really gone to town on that in F1 2011. And here's the paddock. You really start to feel like you're transitioning around the blade, in addition to the press clippings that Steve said earlier. That's a sense of time progressing. So that's it. I'm going to show you the video again quickly while we get into race mode. Make the best one.
We're going to go racing, boys.
We're going to try to.
Excellent. Have we chosen Spa as our racetrack for this?
We want to be racing at Silverstone, so I'm going to try and stand in for round and do Crofty sidekick jump.
Excellent. I'm going to do a brand new sidekick as we commentate on the race. Right, first and foremost, as Steve gets himself into his car, what are we racing, Steve?
On
A Lotus race around Silverstone. Spa on the screen a minute ago. Paul, what about you?
I'll be in a Ferrari.
So Paul is obviously the more senior of the guys from Codemasters here because he's bagged the Ferrari. Or Steve knows something that we don't about Lotus Renault in F1 2011.
Okay, what I'm also going to try and show off on the three screens we have here, the two on the wide and the one in the middle is spectator mode. This will only come into effect once the guys actually get onto track. So we might miss the first two corners, but then we should see the rest of the race from spectator mode. Alternatively, you can actually watch on Paul and Steve's screens as well.
Magic. My co-commentator, by the way, is the communications manager of Codemasters, Mr. Andy Gray, the only Andy Gray still allowed to commentate in front of a live studio audience.
Yeah, I've never heard that one before.
Are you any good?
No.
You going to smash it? The commentary, come on, right, out of the garage we go then, and trundling down the pit lane, space for 41 garages, you'll encounter them all down the pit lane, and then we get onto the grid. First time in 50 years we have a new grid at Silverstone, the start-finish straight just before Abbey, and I tell you what, it's not a bad first corner, but turn 3 into the loop's going to test out our boys here to the max. 3 lights, 4 lights, and now 5. And when they go out, we can go racing. Decent start from the man on pole there, Steve, in the Lotus Renault. You can see that Paul is trying to follow him as closely as possible, but that's not a bad gap that Steve is making now as they turn right-handed into the loop. He's going around the outside. What an idiot. That's not the line through there. Look how smooth the man in the Lotus Renault is here. Fantastic. As we head now down the Wellington Straight, 700 odd metres of pure power, and this is where you can use, of course, your KERS button, KERS included. In F1 2011, another Renault's gone wide. He's gone wide round into Brooklands. Now he's left the door wide open. Oh, you'd be a double glazing salesman to get through there. What an easy move that was for the Ferrari, who takes the lead, coming out Now down to the old pit straight. Oh, he's going to have a go at Cox. This is sensational. Anytime you want to join in, Andy, is a good time.
I'm enjoying your commentary properly. It's absolutely fantastic. So, as you can see, you can cycle through the different views of the spectator mode for all the different cars, going through the AI as well as the two drivers we've got here.
Now this is the moment in the race where if you were Jack Villeneuve you'd switch off and fall asleep. But luckily this is F1 2011 and there's no time for sleeping at all. Because look, Paul in the Ferrari's gaining a little bit. He's getting instructions from his race engineer and the gap is there. Oh, Alex, no! A mistake from Steve and it looks like Paul is back into the lead. Look, there he is! Oh, that's dreadful round through Vale though. He's going to get a slow exit. Now this corner is absolutely flat. There's two ways to take it. Racing line or doing what Steve's doing here and going wide. Get on that curves button. That's it.
Oh, slides through there, Crofty. That's very nice.
Now into the loop once again. This is going to cause carnage in Sunday's race. We'll have bits of broken carbon fibre absolutely everywhere. Making the left-hand turn now out of that hairpin. Now if you're clever about this in the Lotus Renault, you can now get on your curves. That's it. And accelerating. Get that little horsepower boost down the Wellington Straight. Into Brooklands. Past the BRDC clubhouse, which the members will be glad to see is still there in the game. And it's getting very close indeed. A little lock-up of brakes there from Paul in the Ferrari. Andy?
I think the DRS might actually make a difference in the third lap as well, probably, once he comes on that.
Now, we should get DRS enabled, though, after 2 laps, shouldn't we? If we're running to Formula 1 rules, DRS will be on the 3rd lap here.
Yes.
Now, through Maggotts and Beckett's, I tell you what, you get dizzy just watching them through Maggotts and Beckett's here, especially the lines that Paul seems to be taking in that Ferrari.
I think he's trying to say he's covering his line.
He is, but look,
driving.
Look, Steve's gaining on him. Look at this, 180, 190 miles an hour in the star. He's going down the inside. Oh, that's it.
I reckon we'll have him into Vale though.
Well, he's weaving all over the place, to be honest. Not quite sure, Paul, what line he should be taking. That's a little bit better. Oh, he spun. What an idiot. That is so hard to actually spin there. I don't know how he did it, quite frankly. And it seems now, yeah, it's a little quick flick on the steering controls there from Steve in the Lotus Renault to make sure there's nobody behind him. And quite frankly, Paul still in a different county in the Ferrari at the moment.
I think that's an unassailable lead he's got right there.
Well, I don't know. He's starting to gain on him a little bit because Steve's taking his eye off the ball. We're on lap 3, which is the final lap of our race. It's a secret of radio, and you never say it's over till it's over.
The thing is that Steve is prone to an error. We've all seen it.
So, no pressure, Steve. Go on, Steve.
Always quite lucky.
Seriously, Steve, no pressure at all as you go now. Out of off one at all. No pressure. Hey.
I'm feeling fine.
Oh no, the Ferrari's in front. How did that happen? It's almost like I'm working for the FIA and ensuring that red car's in the lead again. Jean Todt will be proud. Tell you what, I'll even it up just a little bit. How you feeling? Oh, you're on the grass. How did you do that?
I think we need Alex as a steward for this somehow.
Yeah, well, Nigel Mansell's a steward. You thank your lucky stars he's not sat in front of your face. And
well, it's made it close though.
You've got a warning there for cutting the corner. And the Lotus Renault's back out of the lead again. Now, this is a fight to the finish. The door's open again. He's out on the grass, going into Vale. Lotus Renault's on the inside. Ferrari on the outside. Who's going to get to the corner first? Just crash into it, for heaven's sake. Oh, he's watching the line. He's trying to stay on the track. This is going to be so tight as they come up to the line. The closest finish in F1 2011 history. And by 1/10 of a second.
Fantastic stuff.